Minshew fakes to the air, he's sacked. Football is loose. Jacksonville has it.
Josh Allen with a quarterback in sight. Josh Allen with a big payday in sight. It could be on the horizon. Another big play for number 41 as the defense dominates Gardner Minshew and the Indianapolis Colts.
And offensively towards the end of the half, oh, Trevor, that's a dart to Christian Kirk for a touchdown and an insurmountable lead. We're going to talk about a Jags victory. That's 3 in a row, gang, on Jags Report Live.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Trevor and Brandon are both day-to-day. Both are feeling better today. They're sore, obviously, but they're day-to-day.
Do you anticipate knowing by Wednesday if he's going to be able to go?
7:20 kickoff Thursday night.
Day to day, aren't we all? That's the latest on Trevor Lawrence after a knee injury late in the game, and all eyes on Trevor. Will he or won't he play Thursday night against the New Orleans Saints? We'll talk all about it.
We're at Sneakers at the Beach. The crowd is pumped and ready to go. Jags are in first place in the AFC South, and we got a good show for you coming up tonight as we break down that Jaguar victory. And we look ahead to a game on Thursday, and the question remains, what's the deal with Trevor? What do you think is going to happen? We know today the severity, it's not too bad, but there's a game in 3 days.
Yeah, I will give him my left knee. I'm not sure he wants it. He might want to take his banged up one. But I think all of Jacksonville would. And, hey, the good news here, it's not long term. The question is, can he make it to Thursday night on a short week? You almost figure if this was a Sunday game, then he would be okay. But knee sprain for Trevor Lawrence is the report. And obviously Doug Peterson wasn't letting on too much. And a lot of criticism for that play call late in the game, Dan.
Yeah, it was, and we'll see what happens with Trevor. I think if the doctors clear him, he gives it a go. If they don't, then he doesn't play. We'll see. They got to look at the big picture. They got a game Thursday, then they got a game the following Sunday, then they got a bye. But he's not the only one who's hurt, Brent.
Now, the NFL's tough now. Every team is beat up, and Tyson Campbell pulled a hammy yesterday, and he definitely won't play likely won't play, which means definitely won't play Thursday night against the New Orleans Saints. And then they've got a game against Pittsburgh, and then they've got a bye, so you almost figure he could miss the next couple of weeks. Make sure that is in good shape for the tail end of the season.
Jags haven't gotten hit with the injuries much the last 2 years, but there's 3 big names. Brandon Sheriff also went down. Tough old Iowa boy. We'll see if he's able to tape it up and go on Thursday night. That remains to be seen as well.
Well, let's go back to the injury front, and especially more on Trevor Lawrence on this Monday.
If Trevor's sore, we've done this before. We did last year, where CJ took like the Wednesday reps and then Trevor took the rest of the week, and played in the game. So it's possible that happens.
Well, we'll see what happens. Again, we're not going to find out probably until Wednesday or so, I would guess. Jags back on the practice field tomorrow. Live look here at Sneakers in Jax Beach, and you're looking at those two guys right there, and you know them very well. We'll see Josh Scobee and Rashean Mathis in a moment.
30, and Rashean Mathis got the ball. It was fumbled by Scobee, and the Jaguars have recovered a fumble. Steps up into the pocket, turns and throws.
The tandem.
A little fist bump there for Josh Scobee. Forced fumble on the play. Rashean Mathis recovering, and we've got a reunion of that dynamic duo that played here in Jacksonville for so long, right here on Jags Report Live. How many forced fumbles in your career?
What was it?
We found it.
And that was against another guy named Josh Scobee as well. That was the kick returner for Seattle. His name's Josh Scobee.
Wow.
Yeah. How many different spelling?
How many tackles would you say you had in your career?
20. I know exactly
20?
how many tackles I had. Yeah.
I think Rashean had 20 in a game one time.
Exactly.
How you guys doing?
Good. It's great to be here.
32 interceptions for this guy, by the way. A lot of how many field goals did he have?
Yeah.
Probably not many.
He could probably do it, to tell you the truth.
Hey, give us your take on these Jaguars, 3 in a row. I just looked up something, guys. They've won 10 out of the last 13 regular season games. You have to go 51 games back to get 10 wins out of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's kind of fun around here, isn't it?
It is. Amazing for the city, great for the team. And anytime you can put together 3 wins in a row, it's big in this league because they don't easily come.
Easy to root for right now.
It's a lot of fun to root for the team. Like Rasheed said, you know, anytime you win, it's fun. And we didn't have too many times in our playing careers that we played together that we had 3 wins in a row. So anytime you can stack them up like that, you just got to keep it going.
How good would these two be in a scramble golf tournament?
Very good.
Sorry, I mean, these two are these the 2 best Jaguar golfers?
Yeah, and I guess Brendan McManus now as a kicker is a very good player. I guess he's a plus handicap. Not as good as you.
We don't count him yet. But we don't count him yet. Yeah.
He's not part of the club yet.
Not yet.
He's
not
not
yet.
Earn his keep.
He's playing a lot of golf. He's not playing as much golf. He's coaching and onto business ventures, which we'll get into.
Yeah,
in a
now
bit.
my baseball swing is on par.
Okay, there we go. Hey, let's talk more about the game yesterday.
It's time for the game plan. Sponsored by Everbank. Advantage you. Make the most of your money at everbank.com/Jaguars.
I'll tell you one thing the Jags are doing, Rashean, and that's making the offenses one-dimensional. They're 3rd in the league in stopping the run. It's been incredible.
I mean, the DBs have to be loving it.
Yes.
Like that's the biggest thing. Eliminate our tackles. We can cover. We can cover if you eliminate the tackles.
Yeah, I mean, just 44 yards rushing for the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. They didn't even really try to run against this defense. Let's bring in Action Sports Jack Stuart Weber. He has more on this run-stopping D.
No disrespect to Gardner Minshew, but coming into Sunday's Jaguars win over the Colts, you would have expected Indy to lean on the run game. Well, the Jaguars defense had something to say about that, limiting Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss to under 50 yards rushing on the way to a Jaguars victory.
Our goal was to stop the run, hold them under 50 yards, and go rush the passer, man. Create takeaways. We did what we were supposed to do. When we stopped the run, pressure the quarterback, get takeaways, there's a good chance we're going to win the game, and it's exactly what we did, and we're going to handle business.
That's what we put our standard on right now for every game, but it's a week-to-week thing. Like, team's going to try to run it. We got to stop it.
Were you a little surprised they didn't try to run it more in the early going?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was.
I mean, we expected a little bit more run, but the times that they did run, we shut them down. We had a couple plays off, but we shut the run down, made them one-dimensional. Got some picks, got a few sacks in there. So we trying to stack them. Like I said, stack them.
Sometimes, man, you got to come from 20 yards deep and hit a running back. You ain't got to do that a lot with this front, man. This front is very stout, man. This front is they create chaos. And you can definitely feel their presence every game.
Perhaps one of the reasons this Jaguars D-line did so well against the run, the return of Dwan Smoot, number 91, back in action for the first time in 10 months. He gets a couple tackles in his return from an Achilles injury at the end of last year. For Action Sports Jacks, I'm Stuart Weber.
Well, and by the way, Dan, they'll get Devon Hamilton back coming up hopefully in the next couple to few weeks. And there's the numbers, 75 yards a game. Terrific. Only one 100-yard rush. That was Bijan Robinson. He was special that day in London. But look at the Colts, who want to run the football in 2 games, 109 yards combined.
Yeah, they've been outstanding, and it's because of the guys on defense. And we all thought the defense, all year long we've sitting here, guys, and say, well, the defense is better than we expected. The defense is good. It's time to give them credit, don't you think, Rashean? I mean,
it is definitely time to give them credit.
Yeah.
Definitely time to give them credit. And I think they knew they were going to be good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And then when you can put together wins like this and you can stop opponents from getting 100 yards, I might be able to play a couple snaps behind this front seven. So it's fun to watch.
Josh, guys, when they're in their contract year, it just adds a little focus, a little more drive, I got to believe. And that's where Josh is right now. He's meant a lot to this organization. Now 3rd all-time in sacks. Well, he's about to get paid, whether it's here or somewhere else.
Well, he's number one, a good human being. And he's having a phenomenal start to the year. 7 sacks through 6 games. I mean, that's a great start. So obviously contract year gives you a little more extra motivation, as it would for any player. So whenever media comes out and says, oh, it's a contract year, he's playing harder, you're just going to play harder because you want to make some money. So there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm happy for him because he's a good dude.
Yeah, and he wants to be here. Now we'll see if he's here a long time.
But they can't let him go anywhere. No. I mean, they have. He is a face of the franchise. I mean, he's besides Trevor. I mean, he's got to stay.
And he's coming into his prime right now. And you mentioned the guys up front, Rashean. The linebackers are very good. Foye Oluwakin's about as good as you can get in the National Football League, but now we're seeing these young guys come along. Devin Lloyd looked good yesterday.
And that's what it's all about. Can you have 1 or 2 young guys step it up? And that changed the dynamic of your defense. And this one thing about contract year, we play in the National Football League. they play in the National Football League. Every year is a contract year.
Yeah.
You got to know your job is on the line. So I'm proud of him for stepping up and just being a team leader.
How do you feel about Darius Williams and what he's done? You did it once, 3 straight games, 3 straight interceptions. That's pretty good stuff from him and the secondary.
Exactly. The secondary as a whole.
Yeah.
The secondary as a whole. They're going to test you, especially when they know they can't run the ball. So you're going to get a lot more opportunities, and it's up to them to start making plays and bringing balls down.
You know how crazy it is? He had gone 40 regular season games without an interception. I guess they come in bunches.
They come in bunches, baby. They come in bunches.
That cliche really is true.
Sure.
You've heard it many a times.
I've heard it way too many times.
Yeah. It must be true.
And they now lead the NFL, by the way, with 15 turnovers after week number 6.
Power Play of the Week, sponsored by IBEW Local 177, powering Jacksonville since 1912.
You know, when Evan Ingram came here, they told us he drops the football. He didn't drop that one. Whoa, what a catch. And he hasn't dropped many at all in his year and a half here. What a grab by Evan Ingram, who, by the way, is on pace for about 100 receptions this year, guys. I mean, he's playing, and a hurdle as well. Not bad, huh, Rashean?
Not bad at all. You know what that says? That says that I had the potential. I didn't do well in my first start.
Right.
I'm going to show everybody that I'm ready to play.
Yeah.
He's such an easy guy to like, too. And he kind of, Josh, you know, you have guys in the locker room through the years that give you a toughness. And you don't need to fight people to be tough. I mean, this guy, he just brings it every day.
No, he's fun to watch, and I'm glad he's with us. And it sounds like he loves being here as a Jacksonville Jaguar.
He got a big extension this offseason, continues to play well, leads the team in receptions. All right, this is your part of the show, Josh Scobee.
Oh, boy.
Brandon McManus. You know, we were all wondering, all right, Riley Patterson was pretty good.
Yeah.
Then they go make this move. Did you have to make a move? Well, it's panning out. Big leg for McManus.
Yeah, he's been a really good kicker for a long time in the league. Had an amazing game yesterday, 48, 49, 51-yarder. As a kicker, that's a really fun game to have, especially when you win, because normally when you have that type of game, you don't win. So he had a great game. The team won, and I'm happy for him.
He didn't touch your record, though. You have 3 50-plus yarders. That's an NFL record.
Let's not forget that.
It used to be. It got broken a few weeks ago.
Did it?
It did, yeah. Not that we have to talk about it. I'm not hurting. But
Scobes, what amazes me about these kickers, and the years go by, but, I mean, this guy goes to kick off. He takes one step and he kicks it through the end zone. I mean, how is that possible, man?
He's a big, tall kicker. He's 6'3",
he's a big
210, and he's got a cannon for a leg.
Not even runs up to it. Just one step and bang right through the end.
He's really nonchalant about it, and it's kind of like a kicker swag, like, watch this.
Yeah.
Bam.
Should we outlaw the kickoff, by the way? I know it's
Why don't you walk out of the room? We'll outlaw you.
I mean, what's the point?
What are we going to just start?
Kick it through and start
we just
at the 25.
start at the 35. Yeah.
Help me.
Hey. It's called a kickoff for a reason.
Hey, you see this gray here? We're getting closer and closer to outlawing them. I mean, don't worry. It's coming soon enough. Hey, seriously, though.
We're all day today.
It's like you do baseball now. We talk exit velocity, launch angles, and the ball's traveling further, throwing harder. Are guys just bigger, stronger, faster at the kicking game now?
Yeah, it's evolving in a way to where there's better coaching. Like you said, the guys are getting bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic, and they're just learning how to do it better, and that's just the way of sports.
Well, a buddy of ours on this show, Jamal Agnew, he's had a couple tough games early in the year, but
Another
he did it again,
one.
you know.
Yeah.
Right when the Colts were getting some momentum, he gives you a 53-yarder coming back the other way. You know, Rashean used to return some kicks. He had like 4 return kicks, punts, I think, in the NFL. Maybe it was 6.
Yeah, I did. I don't know the number. I had a few, but they had specialists to do that thing. So we had a lot of good returners.
This guy is special, though. He's probably the best in the league.
Yeah, he's
very fun to watch.
He's definitely fun to watch. He's a game changer.
Yeah, and he has. He's flipped many a game. I'm not saying he flipped the game yesterday, but it was nice to get the momentum back.
He helped kind of cement the victory, I thought, because things were just a little dicey. They were coming back, and the offense was bogging down a little, and then he did that, and it gave us 3 and made it an extra score game.
Hey, we're having some fun here. Josh Scobee, Rashean Mathis, Brent Martineau, Dan Hicken, Jags Report live on a 3-game win streak. Jags in first place, and, hey, they got the rookie going a little bit, too, when we come back. Doug Peterson knows tight ends, and he got the rookie in the end zone on Sunday. We are live at Sneakers in Jacks Beach, live on CBS 47 tonight. Glad to have you along with us. And come on each and every Monday night, have some food, drink, and some fun. It's you.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
It just means more. We just started executing better. We started locking in on the plays, and we just started playing football. I feel like we simplified it, and everybody just started playing football, and everybody just come out there, and it's all about doing your job. And when we all do our job, just we come out here and play great.
I gotta get myself a Travis Etienne jersey. I love this guy.
I got one question for you guys as we welcome everybody back to Sneakers. We're talking about the Jags and the win over the Colts. He's been terrific. So
hey, that's little Scobee. Yeah, you can get that. You can get that signature any day of the week.
There we go.
Wow, look what he got. That is a collector's item.
That's awesome.
Back to ETN for a second. He's got more carries than anybody in the NFL right now. 113, I think.
Yeah.
He's on pace to have 400 touches this year. Rashean, do we got to get somebody else going here a little bit to take some of those carries away?
I like the touches.
Yeah.
So that's the combination. Touches mean a combination of receiving and running.
Yeah.
But just running, that is a lot. So we need to make sure that we're taking care of our ticket. And he's definitely a special talent. So we need to make sure we take care of him.
I think that's why you saw Dearness Johnson and Bigsby a little more, but he still had the most snaps. I mean, he's such a weapon. You can't keep him out of the game.
You can't.
Right now.
You need him to win games, but we need him healthy in January too.
This has been a big topic around here. Doug Peterson's very good at offense, but for some reason the last 2 years, 3rd down and 1, 4th down and 1 have become a hard thing. It was good yesterday. 4 out of 5 different opportunities they cashed in, 1 including a penalty. So that's a good sign, Dan.
Well, I'm up in the press box. I'll ask you two guys this, and I'm telling this guy, look, there's nobody lined up over the center. Just keep it. And Martin always goes, he's no good at quarterback short, keeping it up the middle. I mean, so they do all these different plays. It drives me nuts, but it's working, I guess, and it was a good sign yesterday. Why is it so difficult?
Well, it's you sure you don't want this, Coach?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Fourth, it's difficult in both ways, right? You never know how it's going to turn. But once you start doing it a lot more, the defense will start game planning more, right? So now I'm ready for your 4th and 1, right? Because I know your mentality. I know your philosophy. Steelers was great at it. Like we knew, and then we started stopping them because we understood how to game plan and what it was. We knew going into it that we had to get an extra man out there, and teams weren't really rushing. We weren't really rushing from the sideline getting out there. So teams start game planning for you.
My favorite play yesterday for Trevor Lawrence, we always identify those favorites from a growth standpoint and owning the offense, and this was it. And later in the postgame, him and Kirk would say, we saw something, and really it was Trevor that saw something, and it manifested itself exactly the way they saw it that led to this touchdown, Rashean.
Hey, that's when you have a game-changing quarterback. That's when you have a game-changing player on your team, and he understands and he's breaking down the game as it goes on. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, that really is good stuff.
The drive of the day, driven by your local Ford dealers.
You know what else is good stuff, Dan?
What's that?
You get the ball and you go score the first time you have it.
Yes.
First time since Houston last year the Jags did that.
Yeah, and it was a great response because Minshew took the ball, nickel and dimed us to death on the first drive, went right down the field and got the field goal. So the Jags with a nice response led by Trevor and the guys. They made some things happen and were able to get into the end zone, I thought.
Yeah, hey, next week we're going to have Brenton Strange on the show, and, well, he got involved a little bit. Couple of catches yesterday for the rookie tight end out of Penn State, and this is good to see as well. He's a second-round pick for the Jags. They tried to build that tight end room. Tough being a rookie in the league, Scobee.
Oh, heck yeah. And as we know, Doug Peterson loves tight ends on his team and multiple tight ends. So it's good to see them get him through the draft, and hopefully he progresses and helps us out be a good team.
Well, and you can also be very patient with Brenton Strange because they've also got another good tight end in the room.
We got one of the best tight ends in the league, and if not the best tight end in the league on this team. So it's a little bit of being patient, but then again, I get to learn from one of the best tight ends in the league. So like I said, I'm appreciative of everyone, and especially him for guiding me whenever I have any questions and being there for me.
Rashean, let me ask you this real quick about the offense of the Jags. They have so many different players to get the football to. Do you think that presents a problem sometimes when Trevor breaks the huddle? Like, who do I have to take care of?
Oh,
who do I have to feed on this play?
Definitely. Well, from his point of view, I think it's a necessity. Like, because it's an asset for sure because he has those weapons. From a defensive standpoint, it's trouble because now you have to make sure that you have that many good people on the defensive side of the ball to stop the offensive threat. So it's tough for a defense.
How about on the business side of things? I mean, it still creeps in, right? I mean, you got Calvin Ridley coming down here, and he's a number one. It seemed like early on in this season maybe they were forced into him a little bit. And then he had the big game last week against Buffalo where he had 7 for 122, but was kind of in the flow. And you got Kirk, and you got Ingram, and Zay, when he was healthy right at the beginning, goes and gets a touchdown in the back of the end zone. But that's a lot of weapons, and guys, you know, they want the football.
I think the biggest thing that you never know how a team is going to game plan you. Mm-hmm. So that's going to dictate who gets the touches during the game, right? I could take away this receiver as a defense and plan to take away that receiver as the defense, but the offensive coordinator don't know it until the game is happening. So to be able to make those adjustments and get everybody touches is huge.
Yeah, you got to make those adjustments in game for sure. Hey, when we get back, sunshine and rainbows. It's never been easier to be the owner of this club here in Jacksonville right now.
Wow.
We got a 3-game win streak, plenty to choose from, just about every defensive player. We'll talk about that when we come back. And speaking of sunshine, hello, hashtag Battle of the Sunsets tonight here in Jacksonville on a crisp October evening, but a beautiful one at that.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
All right, sunshine and rainbows. Had you heard of Angelo Blackson before this year?
No.
Well, he's played since 2015. Actually had a decent career. He has 3 fumble recoveries this year for the Jaguars. Big old number 90.
Shout out to Angelo.
Absolutely. Who do we have next on the wall that says it all, sunshine and rainbows? Devin Lloyd. Thought he was fantastic, and I know he got his hands on some footballs there, but he's also got a bad thumb. So that's a tough thing.
Yeah.
And I'm giving some love to Daniel Thomas. Number 20.
Special teamer.
Scobee. Number 20 shows up on special teams like every week. He's a good special teamer.
Hey, it's tough to show up on special teams, but when you do, it means you've done something very special.
Speaking of Scobee, as we know,
well said,
he has made one very important kick in his entire illustrious NFL career.
Oh, God.
59 yards out, a franchise best and personal best. The snap replacement, the kick up on the way. Scobee's got plenty of distance.
He crushed it.
And he got it from 59 yards away.
Come on, Scobes! 59 to win!
It's the only time you ever did that.
Look at him!
There we go.
Look how young you look, Scobes.
Yeah, this is a video of me when I was younger, so in case you didn't know. It's only 13 years ago. Yeah, that was a fun one. I'm not sure if anyone's seen this before, but yes.
By the way,
you haven't seen it before.
59 yards feels like another kick nowadays. It wasn't 13 years ago. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
No, thank you for that. It's really nice of you.
As we're in commercial break and we knew we were going to see that, Scobee's like, I made more kicks than that one kick. You made a few.
I made a few.
Why are you so tired of it? It's okay.
Because I made others. I'm saying there were other kicks that I made.
It's finally coming out, this anger that you have towards me, and it's projecting to everyone else.
I got to listen.
Take it out on me. It's okay.
You're a kicker hater. That's all there is. You're a kicker hater.
But I love you.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome back to Jags Report Live. Brent Martineau, kicker hater Dan Hicken, kicker Josh Scobee.
Love defensive backs, especially great
32
ones.
interception guy, Rashean Mathis.
32.
Oh, boy.
Well, hey, kicking, golf, the new facility over there.
It's awesome.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's only about 10 years too late for them putting in a golf simulator.
He's mad about everything tonight.
This is amazing. Yeah.
You would have never come out of there if you were in
Oh,
there
no.
playing.
They're like,
where's Scobee? Practice started.
I know.
I'm on 15.
No,
Leave me alone.
It's amazing what they've done in there, in the new facility. I mean, compared to what we had, which wasn't even that bad, to tell you the truth. This is amazing.
Rashean, how much does this stuff really mean to today's player or maybe yesterday's player?
Oh, it would have meant a lot to yesterday's players, but today's player is needed.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different world. I remember our ping pong table got taken away from us. Actually, since we're talking about it.
It did.
And they got a golf simulator. It's amazing. So it's all about taking care of your players. You got to know who you're investing in, and those are the guys that you're bringing into your locker room that are pouring out their sweat and tears and blood. on every given Sunday.
I didn't have any blood.
Right.
Who knew we were bringing these guys to come on the couch today?
There was some blood when we kept chopping wood, though.
Oh,
That was before me. That was even before him.
No, I was
your
there.
rookie year.
Yes,
rookie
I
year.
was
Yeah.
there. I was there.
Hey, the Jags just got back from 2 games in London. At least you guys didn't have to do 2 games in London. Going to Germany as well. Let's have some fun here. If you could go play a football game anywhere on the planet, where would you have liked to have gone?
On the planet.
The Coliseum.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Put a football field in there. That'd be neat.
Yeah. Are you not entertained? That's what I would have yelled.
There's some talk about Australia that they'd like to go play there if they could
There's
figure
a
that
huge
out.
fan base in Australia, so I think that would be a great place to go.
I'll say this: I bet there's a
place to go.
Super Bowl in London one day. I know they've talked about it. It's down the road, but you watch. One day they'll.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
That'd be an expensive
Wembley's an amazing venue. It can hold a ton of people. I mean, all the logistics are there, and same with Tottenham. So, yeah.
And money everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Yes,
Hey, we
it
always try to catch up with these guys, see what they're doing these days. And Rashean Mathis just opened up a brand new baseball facility in St. Augustine near Palencia. D-Bats, it's called. And how's it going? Just a few weeks old, right?
It's going, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we're a month in now. D-Bat St. Augustine. D-Bat St. Augustine. So we're excited. The community, the Palencia community, the South St. Augustine, Florida, that part of Florida as well, St. Johns County. It's been amazing, the love and support that they've shown. So it's been nothing but love and support from the community, and we're excited to be a part of the community. We had our first camp today.
Oh, cool.
First camp today. So our first sold-out camp. And it went amazing as well. So the support has been great.
This is pretty cool because nothing brings a smile to Rashean's face like baseball. It's his first love. Of course, he's coaching his son's team. Your son's playing baseball. I mean, hey, man, you got to get back down there to D-Bats.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, we have always loved D-Bat, and I can't wait to go to the new facility down there, too. So I'm happy for him. And my kids are into baseball. We're at the same league at Jax Beach, so I get to see him way too much.
Exactly.
Never a way too much to see Rashean Mathis. Hey, we'll see more of these guys in a moment. We go an hour now on Jags Report Live here at Sneakers in Jax Beach. When we come back, we take a look to a short week. How tough is that? How good are the Saints? How tough is this on the Jags' bodies? That's the story. When we come back live on CBS 47. From Sneakers in Jax Beach. Save some food for us.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Doug does a really good job of just, telling us what he needs out of us, and the leaders kind of make sure everybody delivers. So we're ready. It's going to be a nice little matchup against the Saints. Primetime game, so it's definitely going to, there's going to be a different atmosphere and energy. We'll be ready for it.
You as well.
Hey, listen, short weeks are tough around the NFL for anybody, but the Jags just came back from a couple in London, then another one Sunday, so it's a tough stretch for the Jags. Welcome back to Sneakers here in Jax Beach. And that is Rashean Mathis signing some autographs here from Sneakers on Jags Report Live. Good to have him along on CBS 47.
You know what, Josh? This week, all football players become kickers because there really isn't any practice. You just kind of go through walkthroughs and then, right?
How we doing?
Isn't that kind of how it goes this week in a short week? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you trying to say the kickers don't do very much in practice?
Yes.
Oh, all right, you're right, but you didn't have to say it to everyone.
Well, I mean,
the hate goes on.
It's a weird week for all players because
it is weird.
The coaches really do a good job of keeping you away from a lot of physicality because, I mean, those guys go through a lot on a Sunday, and to be able to come back and play on a Thursday prime time, especially with 2 weeks in London and then back home, no bye week. I mean, these guys are going to have it tough, but they're going to be ready.
Yeah, they have this takes some maturity and the mentality, right? This is really a mentality.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what your body says. Your mentality is going to be like, hey, bring on.
Yeah.
Plus, national TV does help. They like playing under the lights.
Oh, absolutely. That'll help. And, like you said, it's like the adrenaline rush of we're about to play on national TV, so you have to be ready. But there are going to be some injuries that guys can't play. They just can't play.
Can't recover in time.
We'll see.
The Jags have a schedule now that looks pretty good when you win 3 games in a row, Dan.
That's great.
Isn't that how it happens? Look at the green up there on the board.
Yeah.
Feels a whole lot different than a month ago.
It really does. And you got 2 road games before that bye, and then you come back and play the Niners. But honestly, if you can get through these 2 games and get a split and get to the break at 5-3, man, job well done in the first half. Again, you want to be playing your best football as we move on, and I think the Jags are in good position right now. They sort of taking ownership of the AFC South, but they're going to have to battle. Houston looks pretty good. We've got another game in Houston later on in the season, so we'll see.
Your keys to the game, sponsored by Greenway Kia.
Let's talk about the keys to the game, and I say bring the energy because, again, you've got to talk yourself into trying to push through this game. Run the ball? Well, if it's Trevor Lawrence, you probably don't want to put him in danger too much. If it's C.J. Beathard, you definitely want to be able to run the ball. So they're going to have to run the ball. And I'll tell you, I don't know why the Saints' offense is so bad, Dan, because they've got weapons everywhere.
They do. And I would say bring the quarterback. I mean, so much matters on, and Josh touched on it. I mean, it really depends on Trevor's availability for Thursday night. I mean, it's a big difference if he's not able to go. C.J. Beathard is a good guy, and you want him in there. And if you don't have Trevor, he can certainly win a game. So they'll have to make a lot of changes in a short amount of time.
I got a question for you. Trevor commands a lot of respect, attention. They believe in him. If they don't have him Thursday, do you kind of lose something, maybe subconsciously?
Oh, of course, because he's QB1 for a reason. Right. He was the #1 draft pick for a reason. He's our franchise quarterback for a reason. So, of course, you're going to lose something with him, but it's good to have C.J. Beathard there as a seasoned veteran that can come in, has experience playing. It won't be the exact same as Trevor, no offense to C.J., but it's good to have him there, and hopefully it doesn't come to that, but if it does, then we have a guy.
Well, let's bring Rashean Mathis back in the show here. He's over there at the table signing some autographs. I think he can hear us. And speaking of injuries, listen, he never took like aspirin, Advil, anything. Didn't matter. He had a bunch of injuries, but he just didn't take anything. He's that tough. How tough is this on the quarterback, Rashean, playing through what appears to be a knee sprain in a short week?
It's tough. It's definitely tough. We have to make sure as an organization we protect our investment and make sure that this is not nagging and it goes on for months. So any injury is nagging, but when it's the face of the franchise, we have to make sure we're thinking long-term and not short-term.
And so, Rashean, there's a big picture here that they have to take into account because of the way where this game falls, a short work week, and the fact that they only have 1 game after that, and there's some breaks structured around that, right?
Right, and I'm sure they're talking about it, right? So this is it's like I said, we're thinking long-term. We're thinking a couple months from now. We're not thinking about just this game this week. We're thinking about playoff implications if we're ready down the line if those things do present themselves for us.
Well, if he doesn't play this week, he would play just 1 football game in a 28-day span. That maybe give him enough rest. Do you have a question for Rashean?
Who's that lady behind you, Rashean?
I don't. When I played, I had eyes in the back of my head.
Okay.
Now I don't. So I couldn't tell you that.
You're all right. You're safe. We're keeping an eye on you. I just want to let you know. Hey, when we come back, big milestone for Tyler Shatley.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the most unheralded guys, but the longest tenured Jacksonville Jaguar sets a record. We're live at Sneakers in Jax Beach here on a Monday night. There's that nice
Best
lady.
of friends.
Yeah, there we
Come
go.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
There was times last year, it was just like not us. And we knew that if people came out and played their game, it'll be just a way different outcome.
One.
Rashawn Jenkins in that defense playing really good football right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can they keep it up? One of the best in the National Football League. There you look at the AFC South standings. Isn't that a pretty sight? 4-2. And, they might have just squashed the Indianapolis Colts' hopes now that they swept them. It really looks like the Houston Texans are going to be the team that will contend
I'm here for the food.
with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh.
Distracted Dan Hicken, Brent Martineau here, Rashean Mathis, and Josh
Wonderful.
Scobee at Jags Report Live tonight, Sneakers in Jax Beach. I mean, look at this. This is a two-plater we have to share. Dan dives right in, doesn't care about anything else. Doesn't matter that we're live on TV.
I had a chicken wing on live TV, Brent.
I know. Brooksy will text me in a minute, say he's a slob. That's okay. But you guys know that. Rashean, best team in the National Football League. We thought it was San Francisco. We thought it was the Eagles. They both lost.
I've learned a lot in my years of playing. It's too early to predict.
Yes.
It's too early to predict. I know people like to do, but this thing will switch, and it will switch fast on you any given Sunday.
And we didn't even mention Kansas City.
I know. Well,
and everybody's like, what's wrong with Kansas City? What's wrong? Well, they're ahead of last year's pace, and they're doing just fine.
They're 5-1.
They have Patrick Mahomes.
I'll tell you who's in the mix, Dan. Detroit Lions, I think, could go up against anybody right now. Your former team.
They definitely can. They definitely could. They look really good. And I think people knew that going into the season that they were going to be pretty good. So they're just showing that they are.
I like them because that's a fan base like down here that's starved for a winner, and I so enjoy seeing so many Lions fans like in Tampa yesterday. It's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, they travel. They travel well, and they're going to support their teams no matter what. So it was cool playing for them, and it was cool seeing that energy from the city.
Yeah.
What's on the menu continues, and a big congratulations to our buddy Calais Campbell. 100th career sack. I wonder if it gets him in the Hall of Fame, Dan. You hit that milestone mark. He's got all the other things. Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, Bart Starr Award.
It gets him into the debate, but I was looking at it today. 100 sacks is a lot, but the all-time sack leader has 200, Bruce Smith, and he's not like, I would say this. If Calais gets into the Hall of Fame, then Fred Taylor better be in the Hall of Fame, because Fred Taylor was like 15th in rushing when he retired. Calais is still down the list a little bit. He's had a wonderful career.
All-world guy. Donated $100,000, by the way, to 4 different cities, including Jacksonville for teachers when he made the 100th sack. Hey, listen, you're one of the great guys in the National Football League that played in it. There are many of you, but Calais is certainly one of them.
There's definitely many of us, and it's good to see when you see someone get recognized for not just being a great ball player, but being a great human being as well. And he's definitely that. He was an amazing leader for this organization, and just a great man and a great family man as well. So it's great to see.
And you know you love when you get those milestones. You went through that. You got milestones. You got your 10th career interception, your 20th career interception, your 30th. I mean, those are special moments.
They are, and it just shows that hard work pays off. And I'm sure he could tell you that he's been blessed to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of it. But the skill set, the dedication, and the discipline is definitely a big part of it as well.
You keep eating. The Dolphins are averaging 100 yards a game more than anybody else.
Wow.
Will someone figure out their offense, or are they just too fast?
Right now, I believe they're just too fast. Right now, they are definitely too fast, but to keep up that pace is kind of like the Braves. It's hard to keep that pace and keep that momentum. And as a front office and as a fan base, I'm sure they're just crossing their fingers hoping that it does.
And you know what's interesting in the NFL so far this year? It seems to me, and I could be wrong, I don't have the stats to bear it out, but the defenses are kind of figuring out the scoring has been down a little bit. So you guys on the defensive side of the ball are doing something or figuring out these air attacks pretty well.
Get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Keep the quarterback. Give the quarterback less than 4 to 5 seconds. That's the key to it, for sure.
Except for the Dolphins. They haven't figured them out. Let's bring Josh Scobee back into the fold here. I think hanging out over there at the table, signing some autographs with his son, Jacob. Hey, how's being a dad? I mean, this retired life for Scobee. All we talk about is your golf game and everything else, but how about being a dad?
You want to ask him?
Sure.
How am I as a dad? You can answer. You can be nice. Okay, good. Because I'm busy. My boys were just like me. They play sports, so we're busy with sports 5 nights out of the week, and sometimes on Sunday, unfortunately. But it's great. I love being retired and love being here in Jacksonville, where we have all year to play sports.
You played a long time for the Jaguars. Tyler Shatley is the most tenured Jag. I think you played with him, right?
I did, yeah.
Wow. Pretty cool. 129th consecutive start, breaks Joe Zelenka's record. So he's a well-respected guy and an undervalued player over the years probably for the Jags, Josh.
Yeah, he's been here for many reasons. His durability, his ability to play, and, I mean, the fact that he's a good locker room guy. He's a great leader and a good person, too.
All right,
I think he was on the field when Josh made that one kick.
Yes, he probably was. It's the only one Tyler Shatley remembered when we asked about him.
Yeah, I have 0 starts, by the way, technically in the NFL. That's how they treat kickers.
Really? You don't get a start for kicking off?
Hicken would love that one.
Hey, the Jaguars have 4 wins here in the month of October. It hasn't happened very much, Dan.
No.
Since 1999, just the second time by this day in the calendar they've had 4 wins.
That's unbelievable. And but it's great, right? And I think you said this yesterday, Brent. We were talking about this. You know you're in a good place, Jacksonville, when the Jags win by 17 at home, score 37 points, and we're criticizing. That's a good thing, Rashean. That's a good thing to have going on.
Yeah, what is this, Philadelphia? Absolutely.
What's this play call? Why'd he do that? What are they thinking here? It's
unbelievable.
Beautiful.
Josh Scobee, Rashean Mathis, thanks for hanging out with us. Good luck at D-Bats, and we'll keep an eye on the Jaguars. Of course, we'll have you back here at Sneakers in Jax Beach. Jags Report Live. When we come back, we keep on rocking, and we'll check in with Dwan Smoot's comeback. Not an easy one, but he played a bunch on Sunday. We're live, Sneakers in Jax Beach on CBS 47.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
To the ball. I mean, we were in sync today. The juice was up and it stayed up, and everybody had a really good game.
Yeah, it looked like he had a good game yesterday. I heard his name and I saw him make plays. Devin Lloyd, good to have him back in the lineup helping the Jags. Again, really good defense, really good football right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars on that side of the football.
It's hard to identify a defensive player that's not playing well.
And I don't know that they have, Josh Allen may be a superstar. He's playing like a superstar right now. But other than that, I mean, it's just a great chemistry, a great team. And we've mentioned Mike Caldwell, but we should keep mentioning him because he has done a fantastic job as a defensive coordinator.
And right in the middle of it all is Foye Oluokun. It's just worth counting his tackles each and every week.
Your Tackle Tracker, sponsored by IHRS, tackling hair loss.
Well, we try to get another name in there sometimes, and then Foye doesn't allow us. 15 tackles.
Wow.
23 and 33 were all over the place on Sundays, up to 67. I don't think he leads the NFL in tackles. He has the last 2 years, but we've got plenty of games to get that back. Hey, great story with Dwan Smoot coming back yesterday, Dan. Played way more than I thought he would.
Really happy to see him back, first off, right? That's number one, because he came back from an Achilles that he did against the Jets. So that's number one. Number two, I think he's going to really help them on the outside because it gives him a little more experience, pass rusher. This guy's gotten better every year in the NFL.
Yeah,
so you get him, and now you got Devon Hamilton, who will be going through full practice this week. It's good stuff for the Jags front.
Hey, coming up on Thursday, we have a 1-hour edition of Countdown to Kickoff live from New Orleans. Before the game, you can watch on Fox 30 the game. You can watch the show, CBS 47 and Fox 30. And we'll actually have a cool story with Dwan Smoot and his wife who have started a school here in Jacksonville. So that will be part of the show.
Will you be live on Bourbon Street?
I will not be at that time, but if you join me Wednesday night at any time of the night, then I might be live on Bourbon Street. Actually, it's overrated, man. I've been there too many times now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Hey, when we come back, the picks. Well, one, not even person's pick. One dog's pick.
Oh,
we have more treats. That could be a good sign for Aspen. Next on Jags Report Live.
Cupperation.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Hey, once again, a big thank you to Josh Scobee, Rashean Mathis for coming on out to Jags Report Live. They're hanging out a little bit more on this Monday night. Jags have won 3 in a row. They are the leaders of the AFC South in a short week to get ready for New Orleans.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting test. A lot hinges on Trevor Lawrence, obviously, but New Orleans is beat up too, and their tackles haven't played good. And I think I read that Ramczyk has a concussion, so could be another day for Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker to get going and get after him in that pass rush. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. Look, the Saints had a lot of guys who wouldn't have practiced today if they had practiced. So the injury reports are full on both teams.
Yeah, might need to lean on the defense once again, depending on the Trevor situation, which as of now is day to day, and no word on if he will play on Thursday. But hey, we lean on, our office dog with Action Sports Jax.
It's time for Ask Aspen, sponsored by Subaru of Jacksonville on Atlantic. The right choice for your next vehicle.
We'll make up for it this week. Wait, I'm not ready. Hey, Aspen, make your pick. Make your pick.
Home cooking for Aspen.
Finally.
We got a couple of green check marks, I think, on the board, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of them.
2 and 4 on the year.
Hey, Jags Social with Olivia and Chandler coming up on Friday, 7:30. They'll have all the recap action from Thursday night's
I just think Thursday night is going to be real interesting, especially with the decision that they have to make, what goes into that. And we'll find out about Trevor.
You can watch it on Fox 30, of course. We'll be there in New Orleans. We're here each and every Monday night. Luke Fortner, Brenton Strange next Monday on this show. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah! Yeah!
Thanks for watching the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.